Hello and welcome to Go Ballistic, the Scottish Sun's weekly look back at the Premiership action at the weekend. I'm Roger Hannah, with me Sunsport's Kris Boyd. Boydy, you were at Easter Road yesterday. Hibs 3, Rangers 3. If you were Hamza Egeman and you just scored a hat-trick for Rangers, you got a bit of history for that yourself, how angry would you be that you didn't go home with a win bonus?
Yeah, I mean, I think you would be after the performance that he put in. I think he'll probably be the same as what I would have been as well, raging with himself that he never got that fourth when he went clean through as well, because he'd done all the hard work in the afternoon he already had, with a perfect hat trick. You just felt as if it was just a matter of time before it ended up in the back of the net. But listen, it wasn't to be from him, but it was still, it's an afternoon he will remember for all the right reasons personally. But collectively as a team again, Rangers find a way to throw away points away from home, and it's worrying. As I said, I don't. The performances at home have been reasonably, very good in fact in some games, and reasonably good in others. But away from home, for whatever reason it is, Rangers cannot seem to buy a victory or a consistent run of results, and I've got another tough one coming on Thursday.
It was a different type of away performance, because when they lost at St Mirren and lost at Aberdeen and lost at Kilmarnock, they started so poorly in those games. Some of the games they drew as well. They drew at Motherwell, they were 2-0 down before they reacted.
Yeah.
This time they got the perfect start. They're 2 up inside 19 minutes, thanks to Igaman, and they still managed to blow it.
Roger, I've got to be honest, I thought for the first 20-25 minutes Rangers were excellent. And, when you look back in the Old Firm game and how good Rangers were, and, can you go and top that? For 20-25 minutes, you could argue that they did. I mean, the performance they put on was excellent. Counter-attacking, keeping possession, players flying into tackles and stopping the opposition from playing. And I know people will point to it and say, Hibs didn't start the game well, and David Gray was able to change it, and Rangers struggled for a period of time. But you've got to give Rangers credit for that opening period. They were excellent, got themselves 2 goals, 2 excellent goals as well, I must add. When you look at the combination play with Hadji and Egeman, great finish, because it does, and I know I touched on it yesterday, it takes a little, just off the turf, just right in front of him, but to keep his body over it, and a clean strike in the back of the net, great strike to put Rangers up. Listen, he's done all he can. Bajami with the cross in, and as I said, Egeman's done all he can. Get his header, get it on target, and ask questions. Goalkeeper, wow. As I said, there's no doubt that Smith has improved Hibs and that goalkeeping era since he's come in from Bursic, but he's still not at the level that Hibs will be looking for, going forward long term. But take nothing away from Egeman, great header on target, and then it just, after that with Rangers, I mean, I just don't know what happens to them. I mean, the drop off, they allow Hibs a little bit of momentum, they get themselves back in it. I mean, we'll talk about the penalty in a minute, but then the penalty comes, and then all of a sudden you come back out. So the penalty comes in the second half, and you just kind of got the feeling as if it was, I mean, if there was a team going to score the equaliser, Rangers to finish it off, it was going to be Hibs. And then when they get the second, you think, there's only one team winning this. But, Rangers managed to find that third through. Egeman, again, fantastic finish. Tierney, byline, cut back, great finish. But, Rangers' frailties come back once again. I mean, I said, you can work all week on corners and defending set plays, and if it's great movement, hands up, I've been beaten. The players that moved for Hibs in and around the box didn't touch the ball. Rocky Bashiri stood in the middle of the 6-yard box and just jumped and headed it in the back of the net. I mean, you cannot lose goals like that. It is impossible. And any time a ball goes in, whether it's a long throw-in, a corner kick, a free kick, any time that a ball goes in that area for Rangers, they look very, very vulnerable.
Let's talk about the penalty then. Yanis Hadji and Josh Campbell allowed Hibs to go 2-2 in the game. Does Philippe Clement have a legitimate complaint, or is it just deflection?
Look, I think when you look at it, and Neil Lennon was perfect. What he said yesterday was perfect in terms of, if he was a Hibs manager, he'd be looking for it. If he was a Rangers manager, he would be raging it was given against him, but he'd be looking for it if it was a Rangers. And to be fair, I think that's probably the best way to sum it up, because it is a coming together. I do think Yanis Hadji is a second late to react. As soon as he does react, he puts his leg across, but he's already there. You could then argue that Josh Campbell has kicked the back of him, but at the same time, he's been clever enough to put his legs in between. And then there's a tangle, and then there's a little nudge as such, but it wouldn't be enough if the legs weren't tangled up. The little touch in the side wouldn't have been enough for Josh Campbell to go down. But as soon as he does go down, there's only one thing happening. It was never getting overturned, and the on-field decision was going to stand.
I go back to those two that like Gogic conceded at Rugby Park over the festive season. If you're giving those as penalties, then the one yesterday you have to give as a penalty. And when John Beaton gives it, I never thought there was any likelihood of the VAR overturning.
No chance. No chance. Absolutely no chance. I think there has been soft penalties given. You think back to Yang as well a few weeks ago at Motherwell. There has been soft penalties given. There's no getting away from it. But I just think as soon as the on-field decision has been made, then the majority of refs are going to stand by it, because it's very difficult to say it's a clear and obvious mistake when he's given it, because there is a tangle of legs, there is a little shove. You can see that Yanis Hadji is stretching to get there to start with. Yes, Rangers' argument will be that Josh Campbell has, came through the back of Yanis Hadji for his legs to be before they're tangled up. But as I said, we can go on all day. We can argue till the cows come home. The reality is, the penalty was given. Hibs scored. Rangers got themselves back ahead after that setback, and managed to throw away another 2 points.
They go to Dens next on Thursday night for the TV game, but at that stage it could be 16 points behind Celtic. I watched Dundee yesterday, went 3-1 at St Johnstone. Very good going forward. The threat Simon Murray will cause. Seth Palmer-Holden get his goal, Lyle Cameron get his goal, Sean Adewumi on loan for Burnley looks an excellent addition by Tony Docherty. Rangers go there possibly with no Dujon Sterling. You just wonder what the makeup of that defence will be, whether Jack Butland will be back in goal or not.
Yeah, well, I think obviously with Jack Butland, they're going to have to make sure that is 100% correct, because obviously there was a little bit of risk beforehand. He's had some sort of discomfort and continued to play through it, and then it's flared up again from what you read and hear. So I don't think they're going to rush Jack Butland back. I thought Liam Kelly was excellent in the Celtic game. Listen, didn't cover himself in glory with the Hibs third goal, but it can happen. It's just, it's life as a goalkeeper, isn't it? You can make a couple of saves and then one mistake, and everybody's speaking about that. But listen, the Jack Butland one, it'll be interesting to see whether he's back this week or next week. But the one thing, I think when you're getting taken into hospital and things like that, you need to make sure that it's spot on. Defensively for Rangers, where do they go? Tavernier, as I said, I don't think he's going to make it either. So you're probably looking at Yilmaz again, right back. Does Leon King get an opportunity at centre back if Sterling doesn't make it? Proper, and then Jeffrey. And then Raskin's suspended as well. So does Conor Barron come back in there and partner Diamondi? The Rangers have got options in the forward areas, but I think defensive for right now, struggling, conceding goals. The way they did at the weekend there, it would be a worry, because there's one thing but I've touched on it before. I do think the Rangers are there's a softness to them physically. They lack that physicality, and teams are now looking at it and saying we can exploit that. And I'm sure Tony Docherty and Dundee will be the exact same come Thursday night. Can we put balls in that box? Can we ask questions of Rangers defensively? If it is long throws, if it is a short one, to what something to get the ball in the box, corner kicks, free kicks from wide areas. Can you ask questions of Rangers defensively? That's what it's coming to. It's always been the case. Most teams coming up against Rangers would look and see, and even Celtic for that matter, over the years, that set plays are the best opportunity to score a goal against them. But right now, looking at Rangers, it definitely is, because there isn't much physicality there for me.
Celtic bounced back from their old firm defeat 3-0 at home to St Mirren yesterday. A couple for Nicholas Kuhn, one, the first Celtic goal for Austin Trusty. But Brendan Rodgers didn't seem wholly happy at the end. He was, pulling up a few Celtic fans for not maybe supporting the team the way he would have liked them to.
Yeah, and I get it. I understand where Brendan Rodgers is coming from. I think there's a lot of Celtic fans over the years have been spoiled with the type of football they've had and how easy it's been for them, and the trophies, and they just expect to win. A lot of fans. I think there is still a lot there that remembers years gone by where you had to fight and fight hard for everything, and are really appreciative of the points and the way that Celtic won things in the past, whereas now it just seems to be that, especially at home, you've got to win 5-0, 6-0, you've got to be 2-3-0 up inside 15, 20 minutes, or the fans are unhappy. Listen, it's difficult. I've been there when, you are a dominant team and teams come and sit in and they don't want to be lambs to the slaughter. They want to sit in there. They want to defend properly. They don't want to open up that allows you to get that early goal, whether it's a case of, taking their time with goal kicks, taking their time with throw-ins and trying to kill the game early on to try and turn the fans. But when you're Celtic and you're the big club that is looking to dominate the ball, and I thought Brendan Rodgers spoke very well on it in terms of you have to go back sometimes to change the point of attack. You have to move the opposition about to move them. Somebody then might think, right, okay, I can get that ball, I'm going to go and press. Then they come out their zone and then Celtic are able to go and play through them.
Yeah.
Or somebody sleeps in and there's a 2v1 or a 3v2 developed somewhere. You can't just keep going and playing attacking football constantly. I mean, it's impossible. It is absolutely impossible just to go attack. You need to move the ball to allow patterns of play to develop. And I do think that that the singing for Kieran Tierney. Listen, he's an iconic figure for Celtic. He'll come back. I'd imagine this window. The reports today as he's knocked back a few big English clubs as well. He wants this to happen. I think Celtic want it to happen. Brendan Rodgers wants it to happen. So it will happen. But I think at the weekend, Rodgers was a bit mindful of, I've got a left back here, and this player has done really, really well, Greg Taylor, for this football club. And to turn the way that it went on Saturday for no reason, because in singing Kieran Tierney's name and when Greg Taylor passed the ball back, there's boos and things like that. I mean, it's actually pretty sad, to be honest, when you think that what somebody has given you for a period of time. Yes, you've got a hero coming back, but why would you want to boo a player who has won what he's won, done what he's done for the football club? I mean, and I remember, Roger, it wasn't that long ago that Greg Taylor came on and effectively changed the game for Celtic at Aberdeen. Great ball for Hattati for his finish. But what
does
short
the
memories.
Future hold for Greg? You're his pal, you're a teammate at Kilmarnock. The left back situation is interesting. Bernabei's sold. Vi will go back to Barcelona at some stage, if not this one, certainly in the summer. Will Greg Taylor sign a deal to play second fiddle to Kieran Tierney, or do you think you're seeing the last weeks and months of Greg Taylor's Celtic career?
I need to clear one thing up. I used to be his pal. As soon as he signed, I said to him, listen, I would wish you all the best, but I wouldn't mean it, and I'll speak to you in a few years. So that period of time might be coming back around. I might start speaking to him again soon, Roger. But look, I think, when you look at Celtic over a period of time, and Izagiri and Tierney, and there has been left backs there that is different to Greg Taylor, and there is no doubt for me, when you look at the Ange Postecoglou, the way that Ange played, it suited Greg Taylor. He was a midfielder when he's young, going in the pitch and taking part of the game didn't faze him. He would go in there and he would take the ball on the half turn. He would take the ball facing opposition back to goal. He was comfortable enough doing it. But as I said, when you look at a lot of Celtic fans, it's short memory. They've got short memory because he has done well over a period of time. What the future will hold, I don't know. I think Greg Taylor's at maybe a crossroads now as well. There is no doubt if Kieran Tierney comes back, Celtic are not going to, they won't pay a transfer fee, but they'll have to pay hefty wages. They're not going to invest in that type of money. And then also, go and give Greg Taylor a new deal on top of what he's on right now to play second fiddle. Listen, I don't know what Greg Taylor's on, but I would imagine it will be starting to, Celtic have got their tier bracket, and he might be moving towards the high middle zone as such of the tier bracket. And I don't think that Celtic, they've done really well with that structure over a period of time, and they won't want to start breaking that for someone who is a first team player right now. But if Kieran Tierney comes in, he's going to be, a second choice as such. And Greg Taylor, has got every right to explore his options and see exactly what's there. I'm just not sure how this one will play out, Roger, to be honest, because you look at Kieran Tierney's injury record as well. Does Greg Taylor say that, I might get an opportunity of getting in? I might have to prove myself. But again, he's never going to be the hero in the Celtic fans' eyes. If Kieran Tierney's there, you look at it right now, the performances and the cups and the trophies that Greg Taylor has won, and there's still Celtic fans moaning about his performances. As I said, they're a spoiled bunch sometimes.
Look back at the rest of the Sunday action. What about Aberdeen? 10 without a win now for Jimmy Tulane. They finished with 10 after Slobodan Rubicic's red card for his clash with Tony Watt at Motherwell. Dundee United already passed them into third place in the Premiership, and others beginning to edge towards them, Boydy. What is going on?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think when you go back to the start of the season, Roger, it was very difficult. I was sitting here and they were winning game after game, and I always said I didn't quite believe they were at the level, the height that everybody was giving them. I felt as if they were overachieving. You would now say they're underachieving. There's no getting away from it. Aberdeen's level's probably in the middle of where they were at the start of the season to now, but they need to start picking up points. That's 5 straight defeats in a row. 5. What, 5 and 6? Sorry. And drew 6 defeats and 7 as well. No wins in 10. You always looked at, Roger, that period where they came off and you thought, right, they've got Rangers. Sorry, they've got Celtic, they've got Rangers. They came out of that unscathed.
Yeah.
Came out of that fine. You then go to the League Cup semi-final, albeit, totally annihilated from Celtic. But they bounced back the following week.
Yeah,
it's not as if they went on a run since then, and it's been like, after that 6-0, they've lost all confidence. They beat Dundee. I think did Simon Murray have a penalty just before the first half? Maybe it would have a different outcome that game as well. We don't know, as I said, but Aberdeen found a way to win that. I think it was 4-1 in the end up. But you then look at the run they've been on, and it's no disrespect to the other teams. With the start that Aberdeen had, these would have been games that Aberdeen's looking saying to themselves, we'll pick up points here. We're going to be right in the mix here. But for whatever reason, I always think as well, though, Roger, see when you're up the top of the table, there's always a goal scorer. You look at Miovski, able to sniff things out and score goals for them and everything. Guy get injured. The other ones have not really hit the heights. Kevin Nisbet come in. We've seen some goals here and there, but there's never really been a consistent goal scorer for Aberdeen over a period of time. And sometimes, just when the games are tight, you just need that number 9 just to sniff something out, just to find a bit of space to get it in the back of the net. But it would start to get worry now that you're getting players sent off, especially with discipline problems as well. I haven't a clue what Rubicic was thinking about. You go back to the start of last season when they first arrived, and you thought, you know what, there's a player in there, but he's very, very rash. He's cut that out though. He has. He's not really picked up as many bookings as what he did at the start of the season last season, and you felt as if he had matured and everything. But it just shows you that moment of madness is still there, and I haven't a clue what he was doing. Don't get me wrong. Tony Watt's got every right to go down, but I'm not quite sure of his theatrical dive, shall we say, as such. Yes, he was touched, but it wasn't a full flown back headbutt, was it?
When Aberdeen started this poor run, everybody said, well, if they finish third, it's still a season of success for Jimmy Tulane. They're already 4th. They're going in the opposite direction. Are they even guaranteed top 6 at the minute, Boydy?
What are the Hearts at the weekend? Then Rangers.
Hearts at home with the telly. I think you're there on Sunday. You always get a warm welcome up there.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it, actually. It'll be a lot quieter this time, though, Roger.
Let's talk about Hearts then, because a terrific 1-0 win at third place Dundee United yesterday. James Penrice, who's been terrific this season, a best outfield player, scored the goal. Good finish, as you say. They're beginning to get a bit of momentum. They're suddenly 8 points ahead of St Johnstone.
Yes, I think that the league, there's been some strange things happened in the last few weeks. We always said that Kilmarnock, once they got those bunch of fixtures to level up their home and away, they would pick up points. That's exactly what they've done. Listen, Derek will be absolutely raging. They failed to come away with at least a point yesterday against Ross County. But, Hearts have been on a good run. And to be fair to them, Roger, They have been since the managers came in. They've picked up points since, and you kind of get the feeling a couple of signings for Hearts. They've already got a few in, a couple of signings, and they might be okay. I'm still not. I mean, I know I covered them against Hibs, and I just thought, well, you are in a battle. You are in a battle to, for that 11 spot. But I'm changing like the Ayrshire weather here. I'm going to go back and say I still think they'll get the top 6. I still, that there should be enough there. A couple of signings in, going to Tannadice and getting a victory because, Jim Goodwin, the run that they've been on, and how well they've been playing, and getting results as well, considering they're a promoted team. It's not easy to go to Tannadice, especially when you're down the bottom of the table. But Hearts have went there, found a way to win the game, and there's that bunch now, isn't there? I mean, when you look at the group as such, I mean, St Johnstone cut adrift, and for me, I think they're gone. But other than that, there's a tight bunch there that you win a couple, you're going to jump 3 or 4 places. You lose a couple, you're going straight back down to the bottom. So it's getting interesting in there.
You touch on St Johnstone. Well, yesterday, January 5, will that be remembered as the day St Johnstone effectively went down? The bottom 4 at the start of the day, Dundee won, Ross County won, Hearts won, St Johnstone suddenly 8 points adrift. Believe me, the natives were restless in that main stand yesterday. A bit of stick towards Simo Valakari. He actually went outside the main door of the main stand after the game, looking to talk to some of those fans. They'd all headed off, didn't see them, but it just feels a little bit like Livingston felt like at this time last year. You just wonder if there's any way out of it for them.
I don't see any way out, to be honest. I kind of got the feeling a couple of weeks ago when it was Hibs and Hearts that were at the bottom, you always felt as if they were going to improve. Kilmarnock were next there, and you thought Kilmarnock could pick up points. If I was Ross County and St Johnstone, I would be worried because although you have picked up some points, the 3 below them were always going to start winning games of football because they're too good at teams not to. They're too big. The 2 Edinburgh clubs are too big. Kilmarnock's home form, Derek McInnes factor, experienced manager in the Scottish Premiership, knows how to win games. Those 3, you knew they were going to improve. You knew they were going to get better. So there was only one thing going to happen. Either both Ross County and St Johnstone, or one of them are going to come back to the towards the bottom of the table. And it's been St Johnstone. I mean, Ross County, terrific, 3 victories in a row away from home. Who would have thought that? But when you look at St Johnstone now, you think to yourself, you've already changed manager.
Yeah.
You've changed manager. I think the manager has changed or tried to change the culture of the football club. But there's only one thing allows you to go in, implement a style, implement your culture within that working environment. That's winning games of football.
Yeah.
And it's not happening. So you can get the feeling now that, St Johnstone are not big spenders. They might need to dip into that transfer market and try and get 2 or 3 in. Defensively, really poor. So they're going to have to get players in if they have any chance of survival. But for me, I just can't see it. As I said, the ones round about them, we're always going to improve. They've done that. And when Ross County at home, we're always going to be, they'll pick up points. But when they start picking up points away from home, then you're asking for trouble, and that's exactly where St Johnstone find themselves in big trouble.
Boydy, that's great. Thanks very much. I'll leave you back to the mercies of that Ayrshire weather. We will see you again very soon and go ballistic. Cheers. All the best.
I need to go and deal with my sheep now. These ones like me. I'm not so sure the ones north do, though.
Well, thanks again for watching Go Ballistic. Remember, you can like and subscribe on the Scottish Sunsport YouTube channel. We will be back next week with another show looking back at more Premiership action. Thanks for watching.